Imelda is the founder and CEO of US BTS ARMY, which was established in 2014, and it was the first US fan base for the Korean supergroup BTS. US BTS ARMY is a nonprofit organization dedicated to coordinating global projects, maintaining an active social media profile, and updating the general public on the news and relevant information pertaining to the BTS. Please welcome Imelda Ibarra.
Hello, so my name is Imelda, and as it says, I am the founder of US BTS ARMY. Thank you so much for having me here. I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought 6 years ago that I would end up being invited to such a prestigious university to give a speech about something that I very, very truly love. So take that, Mom. She always did love to tell me K-pop would never take me anywhere, pues mire donde estoy, Mom. So my presentation is A Method to the Madness, the Global Power of ARMY. And a quick little brief intro. Again, my name's Imelda. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I am the founder and head admin of US BTS ARMY, which is what we'll go into a little depth into what that is. Personally, I discovered K-pop in 2012 through Korean dramas, which was Heartstrings. And the music for that drama was just so catchy, and it fascinated me so much that I kind of just went onto YouTube one day and I was like, you know, I typed in K-pop. That's all I knew. So I went to YouTube, typed in K-pop, and Miss A came up. And, you know, here I am 6 years later, or 8. And then I discovered BTS on their debut performance on M Countdown, June 13th, 2013. So a quick history on my fan club or fan base. It was started April 28th of 2014. It originally started as BTS West Coast ARMY because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was daunting to think of trying to represent an entire country. So I said, why don't I focus on the West Coast? So that's where we started. That's my very first logo. And then March 16th of 2015, I decided, like, okay, I've dipped my toes into this. I think I can do this. And that's when we became US BTS ARMY, which is then when we got the logo right in the middle. And then in February of 2019, along with my other fellow admins, we decided to become a nonprofit organization. And that is our current and final logo there at the end. So a quick look at fan bases. So fan bases are definitely nothing new to the entertainment industry. You know, we've seen big groups like the Beatles and NSYNC and BTS have these large groups of fans all across the world. But there is a difference when it comes to the term fan base in the K-pop fandom. Now, a fan base is a group of dedicated fans who collaborate and manage sites that spread and share information on their faves. Fan bases are run, you know, by fans all over the world, from different countries, and just all with the common goal of supporting our artist. The BTS fandom does have numerous fan bases, but we all do work together and collaborate together. So there is a difference in the different types of fan bases that there are. There is news and updates, which is technically what I consider US BTS ARMY. And then we have charity-focused fan bases, which focus on giving back to the community and charity and doing charity drives and organizations. We have streaming and voting, radio play. We also have translation fan bases, and any career ones that focus on career, ones that focus on mental health and helping ARMY and whoever need help of any kind. I do believe that fan bases serve as a bridge between artists, their companies, and fans. In recent years, it's been easier for international fans to access Korean content, but 6-7 years ago, when I got into K-pop, that wasn't necessarily the case. It wasn't easy. It wasn't as easy as it is now to look up content and find things and do all of that other good stuff. So naturally, fan bases arose from a need, and essentially was why US BTS ARMY was started, because while BTS already had, pretty big fan bases when they came out, a lot of them were international ones not necessarily representing a certain country or a certain group of people. It was just, they were all over. So ours arose from a need to, or not necessarily a need, but a want to have someone to represent armies in the United States. Now, I don't claim to represent all armies in the United States. I'm simply here to make it easier for them to access content and do all of that other fun K-pop stuff. So they do, there is a difference in fan base culture. So naturally, the concept of fan bases grew out of a need to share artist content and spread news. Even with how available everything is, fan bases still do play a crucial role and are a necessity. Now, it's not so much necessarily about finding and accessing content, it's just that there's so much content. Especially in the BTS fandom, there's a lot of content constantly being released. So we exist pretty much as a central hub. It's like a one-stop shop. You can find everything that's going on with BTS, their schedules, how to download their music, how to purchase it, how to participate in the Weverse and Bangtan Bombs and Down Fan Cafe. So there's so much content that is constantly being released. We kind of collect it all together and say, here it is, this is, so people don't have to go around and look for a bunch of different things. So fan bases on this scale are definitely something that's different or something new to the Western market, because there is a difference in culture between US mainstream artists and Korean artists. US artists don't have Weverse. They don't have a fan cafe. They don't have official fan clubs that they can join and all of that stuff. So fan bases do also, that's where we come in. We have tutorials that teach fans how to join their Korean fan cafes. And a fan cafe is essentially just like, it's like an official fan club that's run by the company where they release, private content for fans. And it's like a membership. It's an official membership that you can pay for, but it can be difficult to join because it's all in Korean. And as we all know, K-pop is not strictly focused, or is not strictly now only for Koreans. So these are just kind of screenshots of all the different items that are around. Right here, first one on the left is a screenshot of our website that just has a bunch of different types of tutorials listed on how to join the Weverse, how to stream, how to purchase things. And then on the top, we have Bangtan Bombs, which was kind of something new. And they're essentially just behind the scenes videos of BTS during their promotion periods or whatever it is they're doing. We have a screenshot of their Twitter. On the far right over there is a screenshot of the BTS Weverse, which is essentially a new version of the BTS Fan Cafe. It is something that they just recently started this year. So it's like, Big Hit is separating itself from the original Down one, which is this pink one down here at the bottom. And then the next one is just kind of showing how BTS's concerts are now on such a massive scale. It's not just a concert anymore. They do festivals outside of the concert, and they have activities for the fans. And, it's become this massive thing. Let me see. So it's the main difference between K-pop fan bases and fan accounts of Western artists is fans themselves do interact on a different level. They come together to create goals to top charts and help with album sales, amongst other things. BTS's company did say in their, I don't know if anyone saw the Big Hit briefing corporate or the briefing the community video, they said, a crucial role in spreading BTS's music across the world. Whenever BTS releases a new album or drops new content, they instantly pick it up, translate it into different languages, and help spread them everywhere. ARMY globalized BTS. And I feel like that's something that's, not to toot my own horn, but I definitely feel like that's something that we as fans did. We were the ones pushing and doing all of this work and making sure that people knew our artists and why we thought they were so amazing. and again, BTS and Big Hit are bringing fan engagement to a whole new level with sites like Weverse and the Fan Cafe and releasing all the behind the scenes videos and all of that other stuff. So a global fan network. So BTS and ARMY, especially ARMY, we have a very large community that spans across the entire globe. There are hundreds and hundreds, there are literally over hundreds of fan bases across the world, just for BTS alone. And this number, it's not exact, but it's based on a fan club union that started a couple years ago when someone essentially decided, let's try and get all of the BTS fan bases together so we can all work together towards helping BTS. And by the time that rolled out, there was over like 100 different fan bases from different parts of the country. So it's not a small network. It very much is a global, huge a network. So, these fan bases work together to coordinate projects on a global scale. Some of the projects include comeback goal streaming projects, mass voting projects, worldwide hashtag trends, amongst other things. I'm sure if anybody has a Twitter, at one point in your life, you've seen something BTS related trending on Twitter. It's nothing new. They are constantly trending, and that is largely, in fact, due to the fact that fans are constantly tagging them and releasing content about them and sharing information about them. So it's very much, our social media presence is huge. And this is a map, and that is just some of the BTS fan bases across the world. So as you can see, we have them in every continent. If Antarctica was livable, I'm sure we would also have BTS. I'm sure there would also be BTS fan bases in Antarctica. So as and we have so many amazing people from all over the world, just to name a few. So we have Army Base Austria, who's located in Austria, some in Costa Rica, Bangtan India in India, BTS National, J Army fan base from Japan. We even have Pakistani Army from the Pakistan, Morocco, Uruguay, Switzerland, the Netherlands. Like it literally is a global network. Like I very much wanted to include this picture in the presentation to show people that we're not joking. Like this is a global network, And these are some of the global projects that we have worked on. The first one was back in 2018 when we were trying to get BTS on the Hot 100. Down here is just some of the fan bases that participated in this project, and our main goal was just to, purchase songs and download and stream and request the song to get any of BTS's songs on the Hot 100. The next one was a mass voting for the iHeartRadio Music Awards. The other two were fan chant projects that we did for BTS's performance at the American Music Awards and at the Billboard Music Awards. We really wanted to make sure that fans going to the event knew their fan chants, so we printed with along of some other fan bases, printed out just these little cards to remind people the fan chants. And then the last two are a kind of like a general guide to what our goals were for the last comeback, which was Map of the Soul Persona. I can't remember exactly who it was that designed those, but it was something that we all used, like all the fan bases in the United States, because we are not the only one. There are other amazing fan bases. We all went based off of those goals, and that's what our goals were. And then it was divided up by country. So each country had their own separate individual goals for that country into what it was that they were going to be doing, trying to help and support BTS. So it takes a lot to do this. It is definitely a passion project. And when I was working on this presentation, me and one of my admins tried to break down about roughly what our hours were. And it literally is a second full-time job. If I'm awake 16 hours of the day, I'm roughly on my phone 20 to 30 minutes a day looking for news, information, updates. I'm constantly posting and streaming, so it equals up to about 38 hours a week. And that's on the slow times. That's on the slow times. That's not talking about when BTS has a comeback, when they've released a new album. Right now, this season is my least favorite because it's award season. So that means they're going to be at Mama, which means for me, who lives in California, I have to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a 6-hour award show to see if they've won, and then I get to go to work for my normal full-time day job. So it's definitely it's a passion project. It's not something that we just kind of do all willy-nilly. In our team, there are a total of 11 members. It didn't start off that way. It started off with just me, and then over time, we've added more and more people, and we've basically split up our 11 members into 4 different departments. So we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, website, and design. Each department does have like a department head who is in charge of that specific social media site, and they make sure that all their posts get done and get posted that day. Whatever needs to get done, they make sure that they get covered. And then the best part, because we're all a team, is, if everyone on Twitter has school or work, then, we help each other out. So it very much is a team effort. As of today, our Twitter account is at over 500,000 followers, so we're at 529,000, which is not a lot compared to some of the larger BTS fan bases that have over 1 million, followers and counting. Our Facebook is at roughly 8,000 plus, and our Instagram is at 4,000. So, and our website, which we just released last year in March, has had 1.4 million unique visitors alone from then till about maybe a month ago when we looked up that statistic. So it's not an easy job. And most people are like, oh, you must have so much fun. And I'm like, I absolutely do. I love doing this. But it takes time and it takes effort, and it's a lot of work and research that goes into this. So some of the other things that we focus on, mainly on social media. So again, we see these graphics on top on how to buy the songs, stream them, Shazam them. Over here, we have an edit of ARMY etiquette. Just, a friendly reminder to fans, there's some things on there that say, share why you love, don't respond to negative comments. People who say horrible things, just let them talk, Instead, tell them why you love BTS, or, ignore all the trolls. Like, it's not worth it. Over there on the other side, there's a screenshot of one of our tweets. Currently, BTS has been nominated for 3 American Music Awards for Favorite Social Artist, Favorite Duo Group, Tour of the Year. So it's a reminder tweet to remind fans to vote. If any of you have a Twitter, really appreciate it if you guys would vote. And then down there at the bottom is they just released an EDM remix. A week or 2 ago, they released the Make It Right remix. So we posted all the links for the fans. These are where you can buy the links, or these are where you can listen to the song. That is essentially, what we do, especially when it comes to social media. Trending is nothing new for ARMY, and it's very common to see BTS, again, related in top trending tracks. Currently, let me see, BTS is the #1 artist on Billboard's Social 50 chart, and they have been the #1 artist for 150 consecutive weeks out of 159 weeks. And the way you get that is by constantly engaging with the artist. So tagging their social media handles, tweets, hashtags, all of that. That's how you get that. So 150 weeks, I don't even want to do the math and see how long that is in like months, but I would say it's a pretty long time. So obviously, with the scale and power of ARMY's global fan network and social media management, there's always a rise of clickbait posts, articles, clout-seeking people, organizations that use power for our fandom power for their own benefit. And it's pretty much well known. If you attach BTS's name onto anything right now, people are going to give it attention. They're going to click it, and they're going to want to see what's going on. So that's like my favorite GIF. I actually, it says, America is a great place. Speech is free, and you're able to expose the fact that you are an idiot. So a lot of things that we deal with as fans is the media and poorly informed professionals. Unfortunately, a lot of the times when people send journalists or other people to interview BTS, it's disappointing to see that these people do not put the effort into it, you know. Thank you. I can't say it, but yes, exactly. So, you know, and it's frustrating to see that as a fan, that they're not taken as seriously as other Western artists are. They've accomplished just as much, but because they're a little different, or they don't, you know, sing in English, they don't get taken seriously, and that's very, very frustrating. Being a non-speaking Korean fan is also a challenge, obviously, since, you know, I don't understand Korean. I'm learning, and I can pick some words up and stuff, but it's still very difficult for me to understand. And it also comes with like a public scrutiny. You tell people you're into K-pop, and immediately they're like, ew, why? Or they go, oh, what's that? You know, it's not there. We face that public scrutiny, not just from friends, but from family. Again, my family, my mom was like, why K-pop is never going to take you anywhere. So, and then not just as fans, we also face negative stereotypes. I don't know how many articles I've seen where I've been reduced to a teenage rabid screaming fangirl. And that's frustrating because I'm 29 years old, I pay taxes, I have a full-time job. Not a single part of me is a teenager or has been a teenager while I have been a BTS fan. But it's so easy for everyone to just reduce us down to that simple sentence. You know, we are, the beautiful thing about BTS's fandom, it's so diverse. You have, at the American Music Awards, I saw a woman in her 60s who I thought was just there for fun, but then she saw my phone case and she was like, oh, you like BTS too? That's why I'm here. And then she proceeded to tell me how, did you see they got a PAK, which is a perfect all kill, which just means they did really good on. So she listed all of these things, and I was in shock. I was like, wow, you really know your stuff. So it's, you know, it's such a large, diverse fandom, and just to get reduced down to a rabid teenage screaming fangirl by the media is exceptionally frustrating. And again, society, they don't understand because it's different, so they're gonna make snide comments and remarks and judge and do all of that other fun stuff. So, indirect exposure to Korean culture. Thanks to groups like BTS and the fans that work tirelessly to promote them, Korean culture has also become a little more popular. So in 2017, BTS was selected to be part of Visit Seoul's I Seoul You campaign to promote the major tourist destinations of Seoul. So they are now in their third year of being honorary tourism ambassadors for Seoul. As described by Soompi, they said, Visit Seoul is the official tourism guide to Seoul, which is provided by the Seoul Metropolitan Government. Through the I Seoul You campaign, videos were released of BTS inviting armies to experience Seoul by living like a local. They also released a free download to a song titled With Seoul. In 2018, that campaign included BTS introducing their Seoul playlists and again inviting fans to create their own travel playlist and wishlist, sharing it with My Seoul playlist. So, I mean, they'd be kind of, it works, you know, just because, I mean, why would you not want the biggest K-pop group in the world to promote Korea and be like, come to Korea? So in addition, Seoul Tourism Organization released a special BTS edition Discover Seoul Pass, which basically it's just a pass that gives you free admission to 34 different sites and attractions for 24 hours. So, and it's like, it came in a cute little like BTS envelope and it had their faces on it, and it was only limited edition, and you can tell they strictly made it for foreigners because it literally says on the website, for foreigners only. So I'm like, if it's not kind of obvious what they were trying to do on that one. So another huge aspect, and one that I found personally interesting, when Big Hit again did their corporate briefing with the community, they stated that for BTS's muster event, which is their official like fan club concert that happened, they had 2 shows in Busan, and I believe I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 in Seoul, but it was 2, thank you. So they had 2 in Busan and 2 shows in Seoul. They reported by and the report was done by the Korean University Business Research Team by Professor Pyun Ju Hyun, that in Busan, they created 130 billion won, equivalent of 6 days of all household and business economics. So that's about like $110 million just in those 2 days alone. And then in Seoul, it was 350 billion won for 3 days of all economic activity in Seoul, which 350 roughly translates to like 296 million, for a total of 481.3 billion won, which translates to $413.2 million. So indirectly, BTS is also, you know, it's an indirect exposure to Korean culture, because you have fans who go to Korea to go see these concerts, but they're not just flying to the concert, going to the concert, and then flying back home. They're staying in these cities, they're staying in these towns, they're walking around and they're getting to know the people and the food, and they're experiencing Korea and enjoying all of that because they decided to go to a BTS concert in Korea. So it's definitely, I would consider it indirect exposure. And then some of the collaborations and endorsements they've also done. So there's the Discover Soul Pass. We have the collaboration they did with BTS Mediheal, which is, you know, the face masks. And then we have the BT21 VT Cosmetics line. Up here we have Mara Hot Chicken. And then we have the BT21 Dunkin' Donuts. So the funny story actually about the Mara Hot Chicken, I was a vegetarian for 10 years. Now, I was a vegetarian for about 10 years, and it was my third, or no, I think it was the last time that I went to Seoul, and I went for one of BTS's concerts, and they had released the Mara Hot Chicken. And now, in my defense, I have been contemplating not being a vegetarian for a while because it was expensive, and I was eating terribly anyway. I wasn't eating healthily. So I was thinking about it. And that kind of was just like, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, well, I have to try the chicken that BTS is endorsing. So there went my 10-year-long commitment to being a vegetarian. My mother was very, very happy for once. So again, I did go, as you can tell, this is what I did in Korea. Every time I went, I took 4 trips to South Korea between 2015 and 2016. I went twice in each year, all for BTS concerts. But I stayed, and it's everything. I enjoy myself when I go, and it's always been, in the very first time I went to Korea, I went by myself. I was just into K-pop, and I didn't know a lick of Korean, and I was like, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go, they're having a concert. I bought a ticket and I just went. And I enjoyed myself immensely, so much that I kept going back. To think that just because I got into a boy band, I discovered this amazing other country that is awesome. And you know, not just, it hasn't just been Korea. I've been lucky to travel. I went to Mexico to go see them because I'm a Mexican person. I said, how can I not go see BTS in my home country? So, you know, it's definitely given me so much, and I've grown so much because of it. It was definitely one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I'm gonna say this probably tops that now, just because, you know, I'm standing here in a really awesome university talking to you guys about a K-pop group that I love. So, but that's pretty much it. Just some final notes. Artists such as BTS work hard to use their platform to perform and share their experiences creatively through dance and music. Fans and fan bases work hard to share those experiences with each other and to grow the platform their artist stands on. While the fans help spread this material on an international level, it is the artists themselves who share such an impactful experience that relates so closely to people from across the world. The impact is what influences the thirst to learn more about the people behind the music, in turn the culture and country that they come from. Thank you.